Hi, everybody. Um, so I just say hi if you can hear me. I'm really excited about this session. Let me know. Can you hear me? Okay, so I have a couple of people that joined already. Um, let's join in. Let's join in so we can kickstart this session. Okay, feel free to share the link so that others will be able to join. Um, yes, so let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so it's going to be um, a very interesting journey. 3 days is going to be pretty amazing, I can assure you. A big shout out to Creative Ferry for organizing this, and yes, feel free to check them out. Feel free to interact with their pages and all of that. So we'll be getting started in 2 minutes. Yes, 2 minutes. Now 1 minute. So we'll be getting started very shortly. I just want people to join in. Yeah, so they don't miss out on anything. Okay. Yes. If you're ready, let me just give me one if you're ready. If you're excited, feel free to drop an exciting emoji in the comments. Reading your comments. Yeah. Okay, some people are messaging me. They're having some difficulty joining the video. So I think just going to YouTube, searching for Creative Ferry will do the trick. But at the same time, I think someone should post the live link so that people would be able to join in. Yes, so that people will be able to join in. Yeah, so I'm pretty nervous about this session. So I guess yeah, let's so I would like you guys to be interactive. I would like you guys to um share me up from time to time so that yeah, this course keeps going. Yes, as a form of introduction, so let me start with that very quickly. Okay, so I'd like to share my screen for you all to see everything that I've prepared for today. Okay, so I don't know if they can see my screen. Um, Started a screen share. All right, I don't think I can see my screen either. Um, okay, I would like the screen to be bigger and my image smaller. Okay, if you can see my screen. All right, so Damilola and I am a UI UX designer and educator. So I educate on Creative Ferry Academy. I teach individuals on UI UX designs, and also I'm the founder of CCK Zone. Basically, what we do is train kids in technology. Okay, yes, yes, screen sharing works perfectly now. So in today, I'll be sharing with you the course outline. Let me bring that up real quick. All right. Can we all see my screen? I hope we can. Yes. So in today's course outline, here are the different things we would be doing for day one. So today we basically want to understand, oh, what is UI UX design, and like why should I even go into it? Like, why are you saying I should change my career path? Why should I leave um, whatever I am presently, whatever career path I'm currently in? Like, what is so special about UI UX design that you want me to actually explore? So we're going to be understanding what UI design is, at the same time understanding what UX design is. We would also be talking about design tools, um, different design tools that exist. At the same time, I'll be introducing everyone of us to Figma. We'll be setting up our Figma account. We'll be learning about the Figma environments and the different things you can do on the Figma environment. Thirdly, we'll be going into basic design principles. We talk about things like design elements, design principles, design patterns, um, grids, hierarchy, colors, sizes, layouts, all of that. So we're talking about that today. And lastly for today, we'll be um, talking about designing from scratch, like the basic, the foundation to every design, right? We'll be creating our design briefs. We're talking about user research, and would also be talking about empathy in design. So yes, this is basically the course outline for today, and I want you all to like digest it and anticipate all of the interesting parts of today's lesson. Yes, so yeah, I'm back. All right, let me stop sharing for a while, and I would just like to hear from everybody. So, what is UI UX design? Like, is there um I want like when someone mentions, okay, let me start from design. Like when someone mentions design, what comes to your mind? I want us to comment. I want us to be free. I want us to interact. When someone says design, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Like what do you say is design? Like what is design to you? What is design to you? Comments, everybody. So what do you say is design? How do you define design? As a person, what's your basic understanding of what design is? What is um what's your what's your take? Like what do you think? Oh, when I think of designs, I think of a billboard that I see. Or when I think of designs, I think of an iOS app or something. So, what do you think is design? So, Zainab said creativity. Yes. So, she thinks of creativity whenever someone mentions design. Okay, Dara also said creativity. Okay, so I want more input. When we talk about design, like what do you, what's your take? What's your take? Usability. Okay, since someone already has an idea of, okay. So Udre said usability. Abraham said, well, for me, I believe design is a message someone is passing across to the public. Okay. Omalaya said, presentation. Okay. So, um, Natsi, yes, and Natsi says solves problems visually. So solving problems visually, that is design. Okay, so all of you are all correct. Design is all that. Design is a lot. Like design is basically everywhere in everything that you do. So I'll be sharing my screen again so we get an idea of what design is and yeah, how to look at design. Yeah, doing that now. Okay, so I want to be sure we're seeing my screen. Um, Creative Ferry, yeah, my slides. Let me know. Can we all see my slides? So can we all see my slides? I closed it right now, but I'm opening it again. Let me know if you can see my slides. I believe we all can. So yes, we're talking about what is design, definition of UI and UX design, how are they different, then relevance of UI and UX design. So what is design? What is design? A lot of us have given different examples. We've given different what they call it now, different definitions of what we think design is, and we're trying to, yeah, we're on the right track, but design is still a lot more than that. So what is design? So design is not just merely making things pretty, or um, design is not just about um, making things look good or how things look like. Well, there's an aspect or element of design that is purely about that, right? That's where aesthetics comes in. But design is a lot more than that. That is a whole lot more than that. Um, Design is all around us, right? From the way you wake up in the morning and you decide, okay, should I um, lay my bed first, or should I go brush my teeth first, or should I do my morning devotion first, or should I clean the room first? So all of this thought process, they are all design. Like all of these things is you making different design decisions about how your day should go, about how all of these things should go. So design is all around us. Design is problem solving. You encountering a situation and thinking of, okay, how do I solve this problem? How do I go about this thing? What should I do? What are the steps I should take? So that is all design. Um, all that is design. Design is aesthetics. Being able to, okay, before that, hold on. Your design is problem solving. Design is aesthetics. Design is your ability to ask questions. You as a designer, your ability to be able to ask why. Okay, why are we doing this thing like this? Why is this thing placed like this? Why shouldn't we do it like this? Why are we solving this particular problem? So all of these things are what design is. Design is practicing. You ability for you to keep practicing a particular thing over and over. Like that is all design. Yes, so I believe we all have a practical idea of like what design is. So design is everywhere. Anybody's practically everybody is a designer one way or the other. You might be a doctor, you might be a teacher, you might be a but constantly you're solving problems. Constantly you're thinking about, okay, how can I get this thing done? Constantly you're making different design decisions, whether you know it or not, and that makes you a designer. So, what is now UI UX design? So, I've explained what um, design is. So, now what is UI and UX design? I would give a moment for us to say one or few things in the comments. What do you understand by UI and UX design? I want us to be interactive here. I want us to share our views. Yes, quickly. What do you understand by when you saw the flyer, like, oh, introduction to UI and UX design, what came to your mind? Like, what do you think UI is? What do you think UX is? Do we have a do we have sort of idea? Yeah, I would like to see our comments. Okay, UI UX. Anybody? Is anyone commenting? Okay, UI is user interface design. UX is user experience. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? Zainab. Zainab said that. Yeah. Well done, Zainab. Well done, Zainab. Okay. Anyone else? What do you understand by UI and UX? Have you heard it before? Um, in what scenario did you hear about it? Like where who mentioned it? Was it a friend? Was it an acquaintance? Like was it in your place of work? Where did you hear it? Was it on social media? Oh, they talk about UX, it's like everywhere. So I want to know, okay, have you heard the word UX before? Do you know what it means? Where have you heard it before? How, what was your like your thoughts about it when you first heard it? Okay, while I wait for comments to come in, let me just go ahead. All right. So um yeah, I'm just trying to arrange this. Okay. All right. So UX refers to the term user experience design, while UI design stands for user interface design. So note the both let's say definitions, right? I know a lot of you might not even understand what it means right now, but yes, those are the like literal. What does it stand for? What does UX stand for? What does UI stand for? There are some of you might ask me why is X experience? Well, I really don't have a say to that. Well, okay, I just know user experience is UX, user interface is UI. Right, so we'll be looking at some official definitions of UI and UX design, and we'll just be looking at them to be able to identify, okay, what's the difference between these things, and yeah, how are they special and how are they relevant, and all of that. So, according to Interactive Design Foundation website, right? So they defined user interface design, that's UI now, as the process of making interfaces in software or computerized devices with a focus on looks or style. I hope you can always see my screen clearly. So they defined UI design as the process of making interfaces in software or computerized devices. I highlight all of those keywords with a focus on what looks or style. So at this point, the designers aim to create designs which users will find easy to use and pleasurable. Um, yes, let me stop there. Let me move to how they define UX. So the same Interactive Design Foundation website. Interactive Design Foundation website is one of like the top um, known websites you can go to for resources when it comes to UI and UX, right? So they define user experience UX design as the process design teams use to create a product that provide meaningful and relevant experiences to users. I know all of this do sounds um, confusing, but don't worry, we're getting there. So this involves the design of the entire process of acquiring and integrating the product, including aspects of branding, design, usability, and function. So all of this might still be confusing. No worries. I can assure you we're getting there. We're getting there. Next, we're going to Wikipedia. I know we all know Wikipedia. So yeah, we all go to Wikipedia to get information or to get some of all of these things, right? So how did they define user experience design? So Wikipedia says user experience design, they can call it UXD, UED, or XD. So they said it's the process of manipulating users' behavior through usability, usefulness, and desirability provided in the interaction with a product. Great. Um, I hope we noted those points down, right? Then, how did they define user interface design, UI? So they defined UI as the design of user interfaces for machines and software such as computers, home appliances, mobile devices, or other electronic devices. So some of you might ask me, so flyers, billboards, what they call these things now, social media posts, like how are they UI designs or not? So you can listen to all of these terms one after the other. So it's the design of user interfaces for machines and software such as computers, home appliances, mobile devices, and other electronic devices, with the focus on maximizing usability and the user experience. So your goal as a UI designer is basically to make user interaction as simple and efficient as possible. So are we still confused? Are we still confused? Let me hear your thoughts. Are we still confused? Is anything still confusing? Okay, a lot of us were not seeing the screen. Oh wow. Right, so let me sorry about that. I didn't see your comments there. All right, so let me just rephrase. Yeah, so from here, I defined interaction design foundation. Hope you can see my screen now. Let me confirm. Can we see it now? I think we should see it now. Anybody? Just drop a comment if you can see my screen now. Can you see my screen now? Okay, I'd like to know if we can all see the screen. Awesome. So we can see my screen now. So let me continue. All right. So I defined UI and UX based on official definitions. So one from Interaction Design Foundation websites. Um, so I have already given a summary of those, and also I designed defined UX based on Interaction Design Foundation, and also defined it based on Wikipedia, and yes. So basically, this were the different definitions I was given, and I wanted you to take note of the different points. So if you can see my screen, you can now take note of those points. So UI design, the process of making interfaces in software or computerized devices. You see how that also repeated itself when Wikipedia was also defining it. It's the process of design for machines and software such as computers, home appliances, mobile devices, and electronic devices. You see how those certain keywords repeated themselves, right? Computerized devices with the focus on looks or style. While UX is the process of product design teams used to create products that provide meaningful and relevant experiences to users. Yes, so basically, yeah, that's what UI and UX design is. So this was where I stopped. So are we still confused? I would like to know, are we confused? I know some of us might still be confused, so I want to see your comments. Are we still confused? Are we still confused? But do you like have an idea already of what UI or UX design is? Or oh, I'm still confused. Just type I'm still confused. You already understand this type. Yeah, I got it. Okay, are we still there? I'm not seeing comments now. Um, yeah, I would like to see our comments. I like to see our comments as soon as you get there. Let me hear your thoughts. Are you still confused, or do you already understand? Yeah, where we're driving at. Okay, I know some of us might still be confused, so I would just keep. I would explain it in a more literal term now. I'll explain it. All right, so let me share my screen again. So I'm still sharing. Good. Okay, so in summary, let me just give you a summary. UI design focuses on the visual, the user's visual experience, not the person's, right? Not the person's sees it. And so you look at this example. So this is how you picture or you see website. This is what you see. This is what you see colors, you see text, you see listings, you see images, you see alignment, you see layout, things that you see, like that's what user entities focus on. Then UX, it's now the process of enhancing the user satisfaction through how they use um, that product. So, for instance, I want you all to think about the last app you used, or the last website you visited, or the last application or product, digital product that you made use of. I want you to picture that in your head right now. So, you're looking at the the app on your phone, and you're like, oh, this thing is beautiful. I like how they arranged it. They I like how they did this. I like the colors that they used. I all of that. So all of those things are UI designs. Or you're thinking of, or basically you're thinking of, oh, how like how am I supposed to like move from one screen to another? Like you as a person, how do you know that okay, clicking on a button is supposed to take you to a particular page, or supposed to do perform a particular action? So all of those things are UI. What you see, the actions you perform, how you're able to perform those actions, right? So that's what UI is. So now you would ask me like, how is UX related to that? Is it that people don't see what UX people do? If everything about what we're saying is UI. So now UX is like, as I said, the process of enhancing the user satisfaction, right? To be able to improve usability, accessibility, and pleasure. Okay, so have you ever used an app and you're like, wait, how am I even supposed to do this thing? Okay, I've finished uploading my email and password now. Okay, I've clicked on the button. So what next am I supposed to do? Things like, oh, how am I sure? I don't even know how to use this app. This app is just so confusing. Like I can't even perform. Okay, they said the app is supposed to help me withdraw money or save money to my wallet. Like I don't even know how I'm supposed to do that. Have you ever used some app that it's just so frustrating and you're like you just immediately uninstall the app? So all of these things, those feelings, those usability, ability to be able to use the app easily without anyone even saying, okay, this is what you have to do, these are the things you have to do. So that is UX. That is UX. So there are a lot of people that put their thought process into order, into to be able to create that type of satisfaction for you. So a lot of things go into it. A lot of like energy, a lot of research work, a lot of drafting out of user flows, a lot of wireframing. I know you might not understand all of these keywords that I'm saying now, but don't worry, as we go along, you're going to understand all of this. Then you so you need to understand the difference basically. So there's UI, there's UX. You wondering, okay, what does a UI designer do? What does a UX designer do? Right? Yeah, so UX, when you hear things like research, creating personas, user stories, usability testing, affinity, mapping, user flows, user journeys, so all of that are UX. When you now hear things like, oh, UI, your layout, your visual design, your branding, your colors, your design system, your typography, so when you hear those things, so that is UI. So wireframing can fall in between UX and UI. If we're getting so um there's a lot more to UI and UX that I would even not even be able to explore now, in the definition, even in what they entail. I will not be able to cover it in this session, but I just want you to know that UI and UX is a lot broader than this. It's a lot, how do I call it? The definition itself, the differences, what it entails, is a lot deeper than this. And if you stick to the end of this course, or of this session, I'll tell you how you can be able to learn all it entails, how you be able to understand all it entails. So just stick with me to the very end of this session and don't go anywhere. So, why is UI UX design relevant? You might be asking, okay, so you said all of these things that sounded interesting. So, why is it relevant? Like, why should I even go into it? So, if you understand me, or if you notice, there are a lot of manual things that we normally do manually that are beginning to get digital, right? So when you think about all of these things, you understand that, okay, if something manual wants to get digital, it has to go through a process of people understanding, okay, how did they do it manually? Now, how are we supposed to do it digitally, right? So you understand that in all of these processes, you know that, okay, there will be a need for a UI designer or a UX designer, right? So you see that things or jobs relevant to this would keep um, coming up on a daily basis. So as technology keeps growing, as things become more digital day to day, you see that, okay, there's a need to build more products. Now there's now more need to have more UI designers and more UX designers here. So you now notice that UI UX is super relevant. Some of you might be, okay, I'm already a graphic designer, or I'm already a whatever field you are. But your understanding of UI UX is actually going to help you a lot, even in the different fields or the different career paths, even if you don't decide to switch, or if you decide to switch. It's going to give you a lot of understanding about, oh, the users I'm trying to deal with, how am I supposed to solve their problem? Basically, how am I supposed to make them do things better? How are they supposed to be able to use this particular thing without me being there? How will they understand that, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do when I get to this stage? How am I supposed to make users not feel confused when they're using my product or when they're using my services? So you see, UI and UX design comes in at, like, in almost everything we do on a daily basis. So um at this point, I would like us to ask some questions. I would like us to share your thoughts so far. Is there any Is there any point where I lost anybody? Did you get confused? at any point. I would like to know your comments. Um, all right, so I would be asking some questions as well. So now, tell me, what do you understand by UI and UX design? That's one. Also want you to tell me, mention the name of an app you've used and you found it very difficult to use, that you have to like almost had to uninstall it like immediately. So first I want you to tell me what you now understand by UI, UX design. At the same time, I want you to give me an example of the app that you found very, very difficult to use, and another example of an app that you found very easy to use. Then I want you to give me an example of an app that the looks were not so pleasing. Like when you looked at it and like, what's this? Like, is this even an app or something? So I want you to give me an example of that. I also want you to give me an example of um an app that you saw and immediately you fell in love with it. It could be an app, it could be a website. So I just want us to like share some examples of all of those things and how we felt when we saw them. Yes, basically that's what I want to hear us say now. So let me hear your thoughts. First question, what do you understand by UI UX? Then second question, give me different examples in all of these categories, different apps or different websites that you have visited and you felt like this. Okay, so I'm waiting for your examples. I would really love to hear each and every one of them. I would love to hear your examples. Okay, I'm checking the comments now if anyone has put in any comments. Okay, not seeing anyone. Okay, so Abraham said he enjoyed using Carrywise app than Piggyverse mostly because of the views and the design. Okay, so it's easy for him to use and the designs are beautiful as well. All right, yeah. Any other example? Okay, so Omalaya says, his Unity mobile app looks out of place. All right, all right. Okay, more comments, more comments. Um, so Abraham, still on what it's saying. So beside they both perform the same function, which is fintech app. All right. So I want more comments coming in. More comments coming in. So what you think is UI UX? At the same time, what you feel about what do you feel about the different what do I call it now? Yeah, the different apps you've used before. Okay, more comments coming in. All right, so Omlaya says WhatsApp is still the best chat app for him. Okay, so why do you say so? Why do you think so? Is it because of the looks, or is it because of how easy it is for you to make use of it, or all of that? Why do you think WhatsApp is still the best chat app for you? So more comments coming in. Let's see. I would like more comments to come in before we move on to the next thing, which we'll be talking about. Okay, so I want each and every one of us to say something. Um, yeah, what do you think? Okay, any more comments? All right, so Abiodun says one of his best apps is um, Robinhood. It has the best UI UX interaction he has ever seen. It's an international stock trading app, and the interactivity makes him choose it over every other trading platforms. Exactly. Good. Cool. Yeah, that's a very good one, Abiodo. Dara says she really enjoys. I really enjoyed the Jumia app for shopping. It's straightforward and easy to navigate. Yes, that's a good one as well. Omalayo as well says, okay, in still in continuation to his previous comments on WhatsApp. So he said to do that experience in terms of frequent notification that brings you to the app frequently. Okay. So in terms of how their notification process is, so yes, that's a nice one. So Jalade says, referring to banking apps, so Revolut has the most aesthetic yet minimum design that is easy to interact and engage with. Okay, so Revolut says is very um Jalade says Revolut has a very good aesthetics. So that's UI. So good UI. Yes. So I want to ask a quick question now. So what's your say if the app looks good, very very good, right? But you can't use it. Like the app looks beautiful, but even going onto it, you don't even know um where to go to, or what you're even supposed to do to be able to perform the action that you actually got the app for, or you went to a website now. Oh, the website is so beautiful, but you don't even know what next to do. So I want to know, which one would you prefer? Would you prefer good UI, or good UX, or would you prefer both? Let me know. I want to weigh your options. Would you prefer good UI over good UX, or if I know how to use the app but it's not fine, I can still deal with it. But if the app is very fine but I don't know how to use it, I'm not mind. So I want to really weigh your options, right? Like What's your take? Which one would you like go for? Good UI, good UX, or both? Let me know your thoughts. All right, so I'm waiting for your thoughts. I want to hear. I want to know what you have to say. Different things you have in mind. All right. Um. So intern jobs said both. Good. Abiodun said functionality should always accompany interface and experience. So both as well. Fijolade said an application with bad design that is functional still serves its purpose, unlike an application with no functionalities. So I think Jolade prefers bad UI but good UX, right? Yeah, bad UI but good UX, unlike bad UX and good UI. So, okay, so Kato says he would like to go for both, but at least good UX is a must for him. Awesome, awesome. So, intern job said both. Good. So, I think we all agree that one way or the other, we they always we just want both. You can't like have one and not have the other. We just want to have both. Yes. So sorry for the break in transmission. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, I'm back. Okay, so now next up we want to go into design tools. I believe we're all excited. I believe we're all excited about that. So I want to go into um, design tools, and we would like to just have an understanding of the different design tools that exist and which one we'll be using for the course and which one we'll be using for the course. Okay, there are different so I'll be sharing my screen shortly, but yeah, before that, so there are different design tools that we can actually make use of. There are a lot of design tools. um I'll be sharing some examples. At the same time, I'll be letting us know the different ones that we would be making use of exactly. Okay, so share my screen so we all can see it. All right, with there. Okay, yeah, we can see my screen. All right, so design tools. There are a lot of design tools you can make use of for UI and UX design. It all depends on which one you're convenient with, which one you find more easy to use, which one you have accessible to you at any time. Yeah, so design tools. We'll be talking about different examples of design tools. I'll be introducing you to Figma in this section. We'll be setting up Figma, and I'll be just taking you through the Figma environment. So different examples of the design tools. So the very, very first example I'm talking about is your notepad and pen. I'm not going to exaggerate this, but this is like, but let's say the most important part right now. Your notepad and pen. Well, you can have the plain notepad, but most of the time I like having notepads that has grids in it, those lines in it. Yeah. So once you have that, you are like, let me not say you're good to go, but yes, that's a very important tool to have as a UI UX designer. Another tool is InVision. So InVision is a very good tool to make use of. It has a nice interface um, that you can use. It also works so well for prototyping. There's another tool, Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. I know some of us might have heard that before. There's another tool which is the Adobe XD. There is Sketch, which is available for Mac OS users. Then lastly, there is Figma. Okay, so I'm not going to really elaborate on all of this now. If you would like a very detailed explanation of this, feel free to wait till the very end of this session so you understand everything in depthly. So basically, these tools, there are a lot more to it than I'll be discussing now. So right now, we'll just be picking the Figma tool, which is this one in at the center right here. That's one we'll be using for the rest of the session. But if you would like to know more about the other tools, right, um, feel free to check out the Creative Ferry Academy. There's a course there which is Learn UI UX, right? We discussed that in details. We discussed all of this too in details. There's like a specific topic or a specific lesson just discussing all of these tools. So yes, moving on. So in this session, basically we'll be using Figma for all of our activities. Yes, so let's get to that right here. Okay, I don't know if we can see my screen. Oh, we can't see my screen. Wow. Okay, give me a moment. Um, I'll be sharing the screen shortly. Okay, so I'm experiencing some difficulty sharing the screen, but I'll get to it in a few minutes. Okay, let me know once we can see my screen. I want to be sure you can. Okay, once again, super sorry about that. Okay, so this was the slides I was sharing. Different design tools. So I mentioned Notepad. Um, then we have InVision, we have Photoshop, we have XD, we have Sketch. Then at the center here we have Figma. So in today's course, would be today's lesson will be making use of Figma. So I want us all to go to figma.com. Figma.com. So I'll place it in the comments so we all can see that. I'd like um, Ife to help um, paste this on the slides as well. She'll just paste the link on the screen. I want us to go to figma.com. If we all have our laptops, I believe we all our laptops. We have our laptops ready. So figma.com. figma.com. Let me know once you're there. Once you're there, just say, I'm there, I'm there, I'm there. Do we all have that open? You can just open a new tab on your Figma on your browser, whichever browser you're making use of. Then just type in figma.com. So it should look like this. So I want you to be able to follow me through the process as I'll be signing up and logging in. Okay, I want to see at least someone type I'm there. Okay, so I'm there, I'm there, I'm there. All right, someone said I already have an account. So good. If I have an account, just hold on. Would be started from the very beginning. All right, so let's click on. If you have an account, click on login. For those that do not have an account, simply click on sign up. Click on sign up. So I'll just be picking an email. Just use your email, then a quick password for yourself. Then the next slide is going to ask you a question to tell me about yourself and what you do. So I'm just going to type in my name. What do I do? Into design. So I agreed to join the Figma mailing list. Okay, you can decide to agree or not. Then I click on create account. It's as simple as that. Create account. So the first screen, it says give your team a name. Um, so we will be skipping this for now, since we don't really have a team now. But yeah, we'll be skipping, do this later. So yes, immediately Figma gives you like a different what I call it now, like tutorial slides, so you can go through that. Okay, so starting from constraints, um, so setting precise constraints lets you build fluid layouts to support multiple design sizes and all that. So you can take your time to go through all of these tutorials. Um, yes, it also talks about vector networks. Don't worry, I'll still explain each of these one after the other. And talked about comments. So if you're planning on placing comments, this is how you place your comments. Um, talks about sharing. If you want to share, this is how you share. No worries. I'm just going to take each and every one of these one after the other. And multiplayer, yeah, share. You can actually share with Figma for all of your friends to join you on the same file, so you understand everything and you all are doing together. Um, what else? There's team library. There is the export. You can export your designs. Um, you have your live design preview. You have your file browser. So basically, there are a lot of things you can do on Figma. So I'll be taking you through that one after the other. I'm taking you through that one after the other. Okay, so on Figma, there's some basic instructions we would like to have. So first of all, I'll start from let's say left to right. Yeah. So let's click on this menu icon here. Let's go back to files. Let's go back to files. So yes, in files, you see this first pop-up says import sketch files. So you have the ability to be able to import certain files into your Figma device or your Figma board. You can also open up a file and edit it. Okay, so sorry. All right, I want to leave. All right. Yes. So in case you want to import a file, you come to the right hand side here. When you're on files, right? Come to the right hand side here. You see an arrow pointing down. It's that's your import. So if you can import sketch files, .sketch. If you've been probably designing on a sketch tool before or something, you can decide to import your sketch files or any other like Figma file probably you received from someone also. So it imports, just click on the file you want to import and import it. If you want to create a new file, just click on the plus icon right here. So you have your name and account settings here. You have your search, your recent items. Um, so if you go to recent items, you see a lot of, what do I call it now? You see a lot of tutorials that have been set for you there. So you have your Figma basics, you have prototyping in Figma, you have wireframing example there. Um, yes, if you also go to your drafts, you have some of those let's say examples. So feel free to explore those examples. Feel free to explore those examples. Um, so I'll just be clicking, or I say I'll be opening a new tab. Let me rename that to Creative Ferry the one. Okay, so the first thing in Figma, if you want to start designing, the first thing is to have your background or your layout sort of. So the first thing is to create a frame. So you click on this frame. Once you click on frame, just have a look at the right hand side. You see phone, you see tablet, you see desktop, you see work, you see paper, then you also see social media. So depending on what you want to design for, you have all of these options there. So let me just even for phones, you see different phone size. There's iPhone, there's Android, there's Google Pixel. All right, so I just clicked on the iPhone frame size. Okay, so for instance, if I want to design for a website now, so I'll go to frame again and I'll click on desktop. And depending on the desktop size I want to design for, I'll just click on desktop. So you can decide to click on MacBook Pro, anyone you want to design for. So you see, I have my phone frame and I have my desktop frame here. The next thing, you have different shapes on Figma, right? You have different shapes here on Figma. So clicking on the shapes, you see rectangles, you see your lines, you see your arrows, um, and all of that. You see your ellipses and all that. So yes, each and every one of that is there. Okay, so let me give you a um, a quick tip right now. So for instance, I want to design a rectangle, right? If I click on rectangle tool and I draw it out, it's going to give me a rectangle. But what if I want a square? What if I want a square? You click on that same rectangle tool, but this time before drawing your rectangle, hold down your shift key and draw. Then you see now you have a square. The same thing goes for your ellipse. If you just draw out your ellipse, you have your ellipse. But if, for instance, you want a perfect circle, you click same on that same ellipse too, but you hold your shift key down and draw. Now you have a perfect circle. So note down shift key on your keyboard. Shift key is always important when it comes to scaling or resizing some particular objects or items. Okay, so we have different shapes. All right, also in this same shape tool or layers tool, right? There's one that says place image. Place image. So you can easily go pick out. All right, so for instance, um, you can easily go pick out an image and bring it down to Figma. So you see, I clicked on the image from my file, and you see the arrow. It's asking me where do I want to place it. So if I just click down on anywhere, it fills that place with the image I brought in right now. We can see the image I brought in, right? Okay, so if for instance this particular image, I want to resize it. It's too big, I now want to resize it. I can just decide to resize it like this, but this is not what I want it to do. It's just stretching out the image for me. What if I want to resize it and I want it to keep its size structure, like to keep everything how it is and not just stretch out the image? In that case, you use the scale tool. What did I say? The scale tool. So the scale tool um, can be found underneath this move tool right here, or you can just click on your K key, letter K, K for kettle, K for can, so letter K on your keyboard, and you'll be able to scale this image proportionally, and it will keep all of the edges, it will keep all the sizes intact, right? So yes, we have the scale tool. Okay, if you want to add your text, click on your text here, and once you drop it, you can easily type down anything you want to type. If you look at the right hand side, you can choose which font size you want. You can choose uh, which font type you want. Now it's Roboto. You can choose which size. You can choose which width you want it to be bold. You can choose the spacing between the lines. So for instance, if I have a two-line sentences or two-line sentence, you can choose what you want the space to be between them and between the texts. So that's letter spacing, this letter spacing, this line spacing. You can change the color and all of that here. I'm just going to be talking about all of this. I'm talking about all of this briefly because we don't really have much time to cover everything in depthly. But if you want to have an in-depth knowledge of how to use the Figma tool, feel free to check out the UI UX course on Creative Ferry. It's so elaborate. It has a whole topic dedicated to this, just exploring the Figma tool and knowing how to use all of these certain things. But I'll just pick the basic things we'll be making use of, and I'll be explaining them to us one after the other, right? So one other thing we'll be using is this share tool here. So if you want to share your particular link with anybody, you click on share right here at the top right, and you can um, set the permission and you copy the link. So right now I want to share this particular link with us, and I want us to be able to come into this particular Figma board that I'm using and to make use of it. Okay, so I want us all to click on this very link that I posted right now, and come to this board with me. So this is the board where we'll be doing the other different things as this session continues. So yes, very quickly, I want us to join me on this board. So yes, Figma is a very collaborative tool. We all can join in to the Figma file and edit it depending on the plan you have and all that. Yes. So as I said before, um, knowing how to use Figma, it's a lot. Um, it's more elaborate than this. So if you like to explore more, make sure you check out the course on Creative Ferry Academy, or you wait till the end of this session and I'll discuss or let you know how to go about that and how to learn more about that. Okay, so moving on, let's see what we have left on our course outline. So now we're done with step two. We're moving on to step three. We're moving on to step three, which is basic design principles. Basic design principles. So now we'll just be talking and we'll just be interacting in this session. We get to know about all of these things pretty shortly. So I would stop sharing for a while. Okay, so any questions? Do you have any questions? Did anyone have any difficulty signing in to Figma and understanding Figma? Did anybody have any difficulty doing that? Um, it's very important that you sign into that, or that you have a Figma account, because from now, after these basic sessions, we'll be having every other thing will be going purely practical. And you have to have your Figma account to be able to interact with the design file that we'll be using, or to create your own design file. So yes, I want you all to yes, get your Figma account ready. So if you've been able to create your Figma account, I want you to type in the comments, yes, I've created my Figma account, or yes, 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 I've created my Figma account. Or if you're having difficulty to type, I'm having difficulties creating my account or something, so I understand that, um, so I would know that you have created your Figma account. Okay, someone said they've not received the link. Okay, posting the link again. Um, let me know when you see it. Um, let me know when you see it. I'm going to. Okay, I just posted the link again in the. So the link I shared is on the YouTube chat. So if you're on YouTube, you should see my link. Um, you should see a Figma link. Let me know if you can see it. Let me know if you can see it. It's in the YouTube comment section. To the YouTube comment section. Okay, some of us cannot still see the link. All right, how do I share the link with each one of us now? Okay, we cannot all see the link. The Oh wow. Um, I'm trying to post the link. I don't know why it's not reflecting in the chat. Okay, we cannot all see the Okay, if I can email it to us, I want we all to click on it right now. I don't know. I want us all to click on it right now, so we continue from there. Okay, so I think I'll just be sharing the link with us later. Um, yes, I I don't know why it's not letting me share setting link with you all. Okay, I'll get someone in the comment section to share with you so you can see it. Right, so while that is happening, we'll just be talking about um, we're talking about design principles now. So we understand basic design principles. So talking about basic design principles and elements and all of that. So we understand all of that before we continue. All right. So what do you understand by basic design principles? I'll get to that very fast. We have less than 30 minutes in this session, and I'd like us to still be able to make our design brief, and at the same time, um, I'd like us to as well be able to do some other things today before we leave. I know today might seem a lot more practical, and yes, but yes, it's actually important that we understand the practical aspects so that you don't get confused by the time we now start designing, so that you understand all of these things. So I'll be touching it up here and there. Yeah, so let's start. Basic design principles. Let me know if you so let's start with the design elements. So yes, there are different design elements, so ranging from your lines to your shapes to your texture to your colors, um, now to white spacing. So all of these things are very important. You have your lines, your shapes, like every design consists of a line, right? And when you join one or two lines together, you have your shapes. And also, colors are very important in design. You also have your typography. You also have your typography. You also have your spacing. So when it comes to design, white spacing, or I say spacing, is very important. Very important, right? It tells whether people like your design or not. It tells how people interact with your design or not. So take note of these different design elements. You have lines, shapes, colors, spacing, typography or text. You have your iconography. So when you see things like icons, I know a couple of us have seen icons, um, different icons here and there. So we have things like icons. So all of these things are the different design elements you see. Okay, so for example, I want every one of us here to um, look at this particular YouTube site that we're using, right? Um, this particular YouTube site that we're using, right, to live stream. I want you to look at the site and tell me the different design elements you can see. Different design elements you can see. So if you look at it, you can see colors, right? I can also see fonts or typography. I can see some icons. Yes, I can see spacing. Yeah, there are spaces in some certain places. Yeah, I can also see some lines. Yes, I can see some lines in some places. So those different things are your design elements. Now, what are design principles? What are design principles? So there are a lot of design principles that we make use of in design. So you have things like your visual hierarchy. So yes, visual hierarchy, how you display your elements really matters, right? Which one is bold or bigger? Which one is smaller? Depending on how you do all of these things or show all of these things, it's going to determine um, how people respond. Okay, so for instance, let me give you an example now. You see the particular what do you call it now? The social media post for this this particular session, social media design for this particular session. It was, oh, change your career path in 3 days. Then there was a free UI UX design, um, a free introduction to UI UX design. So immediately you see that flyer. So what's the first thing that you saw? You saw the very part that was very big, right? Then the next part you see the free, which was bolder or let's say bigger or in cap locks. Yeah, so those different things, that's what I mean by hierarchy, visual hierarchy. So things you want users to see, you make them bigger. Things you want users to just see, you make them the normal size and all of that. So visual hierarchy is very important. So hierarchy is like a simple or nice way of saying, okay, you organize your site or your application from um from most important to least important or something like that. So yes, that's how hierarchy or all of that is. So it's used to show, it's also used to show importance or relationship between certain blocks of your design. So for instance, in some certain parts you see, okay, bold light, and like, okay, this particular thing is a particular section. So that, yeah, that is hierarchy. Another design principle now, okay, another design principle I would just like to touch on one or two is your layouts. Let's say layouts now and your grid system. So yes, all of those things are very important when it comes to design. There are different principles that apply to how you decide to lay out some certain things or how you decide to create some certain things in your designs, right? So layout is very, very important when it comes to design. Um, as we go on in this session, we're going to get a much better understanding of all of these design principles, design elements, and all that. And lastly, I'm talking of design patterns. So we have the F pattern, we have the Z pattern. Um, I won't be able to go in depth into this now, but feel free to check out the course on Creative Ferry Academy to be able to understand the different design patterns that we have and how they are being applied in different scenarios and how you can get to design them. Um, Real quick, I'll be moving to the next thing we have on our design list, which is designing from scratch. Designing from scratch. So now, what I will be doing is I'll be pasting the particular design documents for us to have a look at. I want you to check it out as quickly as you can. Okay, we all are on the design board, I presume. All right, good. So I want us all to move to the design board. I'll be sharing my screen now, but at the same time, I want you all to go to the design board. Can we all see my screen? I'm not sure we can. Let me know as soon as you can see my screen. Okay, since we are all on the design board, I believe we're all there. All right, so I want you all to come to the design brief. This very section where the very first section right there. All right, so um, design brief. So a design brief. Let me just give a brief explanation. A design brief is a document just highlighting the the different problems and how you intend to solve it or how you intend to design it. So creating a design brief is very important in design. It helps you highlight specifically what you want to design or how you want to go about it. So I'll just be reading through this definition. So what is a design brief? A design brief is a document used to outline the key elements and deliverables for a creative work. So it's a very helpful document to reference throughout the design process, and it helps you to focus and clarify the project as it evolves. So what does a design brief contain? So a brief contains a problem statement that should be resolved by the completed design. It contains the audience that you are targeting with your product. Um, contains the contains the what do I call it now? Contains the constraints and limitations that you are going to encounter when you're designing, right? And also um, the format of which your final design will be, format in which your final design will be, and format in which your final design will be in, the timeline, um, your research processes, and all of that. So a brief is very important. It's very important for you to create a brief when you start out your designs. So now, let me just give you a brief um, sample of what we'll be designing, or a brief talk through or walkthrough of what we'll be designing. And so in these 3 days, we'll be creating a food ordering app I'll be designing a food ordering app while analyzing all the different problems users encounter when it comes to ordering food using a mobile app. So I'll just be listing down, I'll be drafting down design brief. I want you to follow me in the process, and I want you to follow me through the process of designing. I believe we can all see my screen now. Yes. So creating our design brief, the first thing I said is to identify the problem you're trying to solve. So quickly, um, I just mentioned the problem I'm trying to solve. Let me just type it out here so we see it. Okay. Um, Users find it difficult to get fresh um, items or goods due to this um, COVID-19 pandemic. So we're trying to design like a food ordering, or will I say a farm items or farm goods or fresh goods ordering platform um, where they can order for farm items. So just find it difficult to get fresh farm items or goods during this COVID-19 pandemic. Most of people do not want to go out. They don't want to um, due to safety and health precautions. A lot of them do not want to go. Do not want. Do not want to go to the market. Yet they want fresh food. So that's our user's problem, right? So now, after looking at this problem, I want each and every one of us to identify our audiences. So, looking at this or hearing this out, who do you think is our potential customer? Like, who do you think is our audience for this particular app we're trying to build? Who do you think is we can already see the problem, so who do you think is our audience? Comments. Who do you think are our audience? So for me, our audience would be individuals looking for fresh items or fresh goods. um, Women, um, men who cook, um, women who cook, men or women who cook. Yeah, just different things. I want to see a comment to add more to our audience. So who do you think are our audience in this case? Moving on, our constraints. So what can't you do? constraints can be in size, format, the timeline, your colors, your text, your your text length, and all of that. So what can't you do, or um, what can't you do? What should? Yeah. So this design solution has to be a mobile app that users can easily use to order um, items or market goods or something like that. It should use images related to food and farm goods. So the next is your deliverables. So how are you supposed to deliver this file? So design should um, be sent as a Figma prototype. Figma design should be sent as a completed Figma prototype. So timeline, how long should you spend on the project? What are the different milestones? All right, so designs, completed designs should be ready in 2 days. So this is the first day, right? So we have 2 days left. So completed designs should be ready in 2 days. So I'm going to highlight the different deliverables. So we have things like our onboarding flow, our authentication flow. We have things like our ordering flow, things like our payments. Yes, so all of those things are what are very important now. So for research, what are the different research process we'll be using? So it's very important that we understand the different research process we'll be using. So we'll be sending out some surveys. I'll be checking um, out competitors, the people that already do this thing, the different people that already do this thing. Okay, so I'm seeing audiences. So audiences, someone said farmers. Um, so Cato Chow said farmers. Omalayo said market sellers who want to sell large. Digital individuals. Okay. Um, vegetarians. Right. So we really understand who our audience are. Yeah. So deliverables be a Figma prototype, a timeline. We have 2 days to finish. Then for research, we have our surveys. Then we'll be carrying out competitors analysis. So moving on to the next thing we have on our item for today. So we've completed our design brief. I believe we all understand that. Um, if you're still a bit confused, don't worry. But before the end of this session, um, I'll let you know how to get a full understanding of design briefs, how to really understand all of this and be able to create your own design brief for your own idea and all of that. So just wait to the end of this session and you will learn about all of that. So now the next thing we'll be doing is our user research. Our user research. So in terms of user research, there are different types of user research, right? So what is user research? It's just a way of you identifying all of the existing problems user goes through in terms of what you're trying to design for, to be able to know how or how these things have been solved before and what you need to improve on, to be able to identify, okay, the users actually need this thing that you're trying to create a solution for. So by actually going through this problem that you have identified, your ability to be able to understand this will now determine if you move forward with this problem, or if you will coin this problem and redefine it in another way. So that's what user research is about. There are different ways of conducting user researches, right? There is the qualitative way and there's the quantitative way, right? Qualitative, quantitative. I know we all would not understand all of this, but there is a really elaborate lesson that talks about user research in the Learn Your UX course on the Academy. So you might want to check it out. Um, yes, in this session, we'll be going through our quantitative user research method. So when we have our quantitative user research, what do I mean by that? It deals with quantity, or how many users can you reach, how many users are you conducting this user research on, how many users actually provided these findings for you. So you in under quantitative user research, we have different examples, or we have different methods, and the major method we'll be using now is our survey method. I know a lot of people understand what I mean by surveys, because with one way or the other come through or encountered what they call a survey. Right. So we'll be creating a user survey, we'll be creating a research survey that will be using to gather information for this particular problem we're trying to design for. So there are different ways of creating user surveys. You have your Google Forms, you have your Type form. There are different platforms that give you the avenue to create forms. But today I'll be using Google Forms. I'll be using Google Forms. All right, so Google Forms. So I'll be creating a form now. In order to create a form, just go to docs.google.com/form, or just type in Google Forms on your Chrome browser, and it navigates you to the point where you'll be able to create your form. So now I'm going to click on a blank form. So there are different templates for you to make use of, but I'll be clicking on a blank form. All right. So I'll be changing the title of my form. Product survey. Yes. Um, I've just given it a brief description. So hi, thanks for taking this opportunity. Thanks for taking this time to fill out the survey. Your honest feedback would be really appreciated. Yeah, that's just so. Now I'll just be creating this survey with some key points, some key questions. If you want to really understand, okay, how do I come about with my questions for my survey? How do I really understand? These are the questions to ask. These are the right questions to ask. This type of questions you shouldn't ask. How would I understand all of these questions? In order for you to understand all that, you need a more in-depth knowledge of user research and quantitative analysis, and even surveys as a whole. So I very important I wait to the end of the session so that you learn more about all of this. So now we want to ask different questions on how people have been coping during this COVID-19 crisis and how they've been ordering their food. Are they going out to the market? How scared are they when they go out to the market? What platforms, if it exists, what platforms are they using to create to be able to, what platforms are they using to, what would I call it now? What platforms are they using to get food items? So I will be sending this to us now, uh, so that we'll be able to share with all of our friends. I want us to be able to share this with all of our friends. Yeah, so I'll just continue from there. All right. So the first questions would like to ask. So always try to ask direct questions, questions related to the particular problem you're trying to design for. Don't forget that. There are different points to note when you're actually asking topic questions, and it's always important to understand all of that when you're typing out your questions or when you're creating questions. Right. So the first question is COVID-19 affecting how we get food items? All right. I think my first question should be, how do you normally get food items? Um, from the markets, um, online ordering app or websites. How do you normally get food items? Online ordering app, from market, online ordering app. What other ways can users get food items? I want your input on this, everybody. Um, yes, I want your input on this. As I'm creating these surveys, I like us to put different inputs so that the survey is as elaborate as it should be. So, how do you normally get food items from market, online ordering app, or website? Which other options can I put there? So, the next question is COVID-19 affecting how you get food items? Now, I would like to know more. Can you briefly explain? All right, let him just explain how is COVID-19 affecting how they get their food items. Next question is, would you like if there was a way to order fresh food items to your door steps safely? yes, no, um, if I am sure of the source. So I want us to keep our inputs coming. All right. So Cactus Child said from the garden. So thank you from your garden. Okay. Third option can be others, so they can input whatever they want. Amazing. Yes, this is good. So you can add an order, so they input whichever option that they want. Then the next question, is COVID-19 affecting how you get food items? Yes, no, maybe. Can you explain briefly? Yeah, let the user explain briefly. Would you like those a way to order fresh food items to your doorstep safely? Some people say yes, some people say no. Some people say yes if I yes, I would love it. Yes if I'm sure of the sauce. No, um yeah, any other question you would like to add? So if you can think of any other questions you'd like to ask the users that would help us when we're designing our app, so that we understand that okay, users actually want this kind of app and they would love to use it. The survey is for you to be able to understand, okay, am I even building the right thing? Am I even building the right thing for my users? Am I even sure users will, it's not, you don't just define your problems alone or your on your own and just start building or start designing without even understanding, do users actually need this thing? If they don't need it, you'll finish designing, you finish developing, you bring your app to the market and nobody's using it. Then you will now think, oh wow, people not using my app. I believe we all understand. So yes, it's very important that we carry out user research, whichever method we want to use, but it's always very, very important that you carry out your user research. Don't forget that. Okay, would you like if there was a way to order fresh food items to your doorstep? Um, yes. Is there any app or website you currently use to do this? Currently used to order food items, um, raw food items. So yes, we have to specify. We have to specify um, which type of food items were. Is there any other app we currently use to? Um, can you? If yes, if yes, um, can they tell us? If yes, can you tell us? Which other question should I add? I want your comments. I want your comments. We'll be rounding up very shortly. As soon as we're done with the survey, we would have covered everything we have for today. Apart from empathy and design, I'll just talk about that briefly. Yes, so if there are no questions, so also in your survey, feel free to ask for their name or email if they would like to give that out. So I'll be completing this survey for those of us that want to wait for it. And yes, for I'll be moving on quickly to empathy in designs. So when it comes to empathy in designs, it's just for you to have a basic understanding or to be able to put yourself in the user's shoes. That is what empathy simply means, right? Putting yourself in the user's shoes, being able to feel the way the users are feeling so that you'll be able to design for them properly. That's the brief summary or the brief definition of empathy. It's a lot more than that. So if you would like to know more or learn more about that, feel free to explore the UI/UX course on Creative Ferry Academy. So now for this, in order to round up this section, right, we'll be finishing up with this survey. I'll leave the link to the Figma file. That's the design brief, so you all can drop your comments about that. At the same time, I'll be leaving the link to this product survey so that we can share with our friends and we get responses. So as soon as we come tomorrow, we would dive into designing proper, like the main practical section of this. So creating design brief, doing your survey, we've done part of our UX processes, right? Right. So tomorrow we'll be going into designing wireframes. We'll be going into designing our application screens with colors and all of that, how it should look like. But first of all, we want to gather responses from this survey. So we'd like you to share these responses with all of your friends. I'd like you to share with all of your colleagues, to different individuals, different age groups, as long as they are in the audience we specified here in our design brief, right? So share with them, let them fill out the survey, let them be totally honest about it. Yeah. Feel free to keep dropping your comments and feel free to keep get dropping your comments in the YouTube channel as you watch this. So I'll keep adding those questions to the survey. Yes. So as I've been saying all that, everything I will be discussing in this session, we'll be touching them briefly one after the other. If you would like to explore more, just feel free to check out the Creative Fairies YouTube channel or other social media channel and ask about the more elaborate UI UX course. I might also leave a link to um, to access the course down here in the comments with different information you might want to ask about the more elaborate course. So I look forward to seeing every one of us tomorrow. I'm sorry for the extended time, but basically it's because of the um, cuts here and there we had today. No worries, tomorrow everything will be smooth because it's going to be purely practical. I'll be sharing my screen all through while we all design together. I implore you to invite your friends, share the link with your friends, tell them to join us tomorrow. We'll be designing our raw food items ordering app tomorrow as soon as we gather our user research answers from the service we'll be sending out. Yes, it's so exciting meeting you all today. This class was super interactive. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your comment by. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Bye.